Hello and welcome to this first tech review in quite a while. This time we're going to review this can of headphones. So these are called the Extreme One-Eighties, but you may know them as the Otone VTX Sound. At least I think they are the same headphones because they look exactly the same, and these are made by Extreme in a cooperation with Otone Sound. It's also on the headphones. So I think it's just a licensing thing to give special skins to these headphones for Extreme to sell them, because Extreme is a sports company, so yeah, it would be weird for them to make their own headphones. But yeah, either way, let's have a look at these. So first we are going to take a look at what's in the box. So when you open your box, you will find, of course, the headphones, a carrying bag, two wires, one for a mobile phone and one without control, so just a plain wire, a 6.3mm connector, an airplane adapter, batteries, and a manual. And yeah, overall I really like the design of the box it shipped in. It was very plain, it looked just very stylish, very cool. And the headphones also look very cool. They are just a plain black. The only thing I really don't like are the materials being used. Much of it is plastic. I myself prefer metal because it is more durable. But yeah, still they seem sturdy. Also, they can move a lot. Like, you can bend these way more than any other headphone that I have ever used. So that's really cool. And it's nice that they included all those extra things. Especially the carrying case, because for me at least this is a headphone that I will be using when I'm on the road. And yeah, the headphone's also very comfortable. It has earpads that are stitched, so they really fit well on your ear. It was weird to getting used to them at first. At first I really didn't like them, but because the pads were a little bit small, I felt. But after figuring out how to wear them comfortably, yeah, I can wear these for a pretty long time. I think up to 5 hours, so yeah, really good. So let's discuss the most important part of every headphone, sound. So I have wore these for about a month now, and I did some A/B testing with 3 other headphones, or earphones. One of them at least. So I tested these against the AKG K550. These ones are a lot higher in price range, at least when they first came out, but they are around the same right now. And these are my favorite headphones. So yeah, that will be the first test. The second test will be against the Biodynamics DT990 Pro 250 ohm version. So those are open headphones. Just to compare it to those headphones. And the last one is the Musical Fidelity EB50, and those are in-ears. Also very neutral, not colored sound. And all of these are, at least right now, at the same price range, or right about the same price range as these Extreme One-Eighties. So how did they perform? Well, first I'm gonna talk about the headphones on their own, without the A/B testing. When I first wore them, I really didn't like them. It had a couple of reasons why I didn't like them. First off, those are closed-back headphones, and they don't have a wide soundstage. And even the closest back ones that I own, they all have a wide soundstage. So that was really weird getting used to. I listened to a lot of different musical styles, and yeah, the only ones where I think these were sounding good were with EDM music. And yeah, I overall just found it to be way too bassy. The high tones weren't exactly clear. Yeah, I wasn't happy with it. But after, I think 2 weeks, they started to sound better. And I tried a lot with the active noise cancellation and with the VTX Sound, which is basically a bass boost. And yeah, the way how I use them now is I use the active noise cancellation most, because it removes much of the bass, so it gives a more natural sound to the music. And that's just that's just my personal preference. If you like more the bassy sound, you can use the VTX bass boost, and that will also have noise cancellation. But I just think it only worked with a couple of songs. You really need to try out every song if it is better with VTX Sound, because the bass can be a little bit messy when you turn it on every time, because it boosts the bass by so much, just everything else is drawn out, and bass really gets the overtone in a negative way. So yeah, it wasn't as clear. So I rarely use the bass boost. For me, the normal noise cancellation is the way to go. But the first time I tried that mode out, I was a little bit shocked to hear what it did to the music. You hear the constant hiss, and also it sounded metallic to me. But after doing some research and asking some other friends who have had experiences with other noise cancellation headphones, I found out that that is normal. But yeah, that took quite a while to getting used to it, but eventually you will get used to it. So it isn't a huge problem, and I can't fault the headphones for this, because every headphone does it with noise cancellation. Noise cancellation itself is pretty good, especially with things like engines. But with things like people having a conversation around you in the bus or the train, it is very hit and miss. Sometimes it just perfectly drowns out everything. Other days it just doesn't do it at all. It was really weird, but overall it's good enough for me to wear these every day when I go to school. So as you may know, the noise cancellation requires a set of batteries. That's why they were included with the box. And the box says those last around 20 hours. With my testing, they last 25 hours. So yeah, they work for a really long time, and I was very happy with that result. And you can also use rechargeable batteries in this headphone. So yeah, I really liked that. So now let's go to the A/B comparison. So first off, against my AKG K550s. And well, this was no competition at all. The AKG blew these cans out of the water. Okay, so I have to say that I am a person that likes neutral sound. So that's something to have in consideration. But just all the tones were much more clearer, with much more detail. The bass was tighter. The only thing that the AKG does worse is sibilance. It has a little bit more sibilance in the 6,000 to 7,000 kilohertz range, but overall much more detailed, a wider sound stage. It was no contest at all. And the same goes for the Beyerdynamics 990 Pro Edition. It isn't really an even test, because of course the Beyerdynamics are open headphones, so of course they have a bigger sound stage. But also the bass, it has a lot of bass because it's a V-shaped headphone, but it doesn't run out all the other tones like this one does. As I said earlier, the Extreme One-Eighties sometimes really overbass the music, especially when bass boost is on. But yeah, if I use the noise cancellation mode, which is more neutral, then still it is more muddy. It doesn't have the detail that the Beyerdynamics does. And so for the last test, we come to the neutral musical fidelity EB50s. And well, this is where the Extreme One-Eighties finally wins one. I really like those earbuds. They are pretty detailed for the price, and having in consideration that it are in-ear headphones. But just everything was clearer, sounded better with the Extreme One-Eighties. The only thing where they were going head to head was voice. But overall, the Extreme One-Eighties did a lot better job. So when I first tried these headphones, I was thinking like, oh, I wouldn't have paid more than $70, $80 for this at most. But now after listening to it more, I would go up with the price. I would sit around $120, and I think that's also what they are selling for at the moment. So overall, I would recommend these headphones, especially with the caveats that noise cancellation normally comes with. these sound pretty good on their own as well. They can't compete with the headphones that normally are considered one of the best that is ever released for the price range, but still really good and better than most of the other headphones that I've tried in this price range. So yeah, I hope this has helped you, and yeah, thanks for watching, and see you all next time.